Hi there, this is Michael J. Emery. A common question that comes up when people find themselves curious to know more about personal development coaching with me is what exactly is my process when I'm working with a coaching client? And a while back I heard this analogy: if the greatest athletes in the world all have coaches, and the most brilliant people in history have all had advisors and mastermind groups, then wouldn't it seem that those of us who are struggling with quote unquote normal lives and moderate responsibilities, that we'd require the insights of a personal coach or advisor even more than those professionals do? And I always laugh when I hear this analogy because I can see some guy giving a hard sell sales pitch followed along with a promotion to join the Diamond All-Star Club. And that's fine, there's something for everyone. Yet I've got to say that within that statement, there is a nugget of gold. It's not so much to prove a point that yes, you and everyone else could really benefit from working with a life coach, or someone to hold a space for you as you self-actualize so that you can experience more of what you want in life. It's rather that the statement hints at an important internal question. What are you doing with your life? Does it seem like you're just going through the motions to keep the facade of everything is fine together? Or as a parent, a friend, a lover, an employee, or an employer, are you capable of being present for those around you? I believe that in one way or another, we're all here to serve each other. Sometimes it happens directly, but often through our indirect service of others, we leave our mark on history and we influence the lives of people around us. The question remains, if we're bogged down with our own fear, shame, guilt, and insecurities, how effectively can we be present to the people who are the most important to us? And how effectively can we master our responsibilities? Also, what message are we sending to future generations? When a person chooses to work with me, the very first step that often indirectly occurs is that the client begins to identify the beliefs that have been controlling the direction of his or her life. And most of the time, we begin with desiring a situational change. For example, someone wants to lose weight, or someone wants to better understand the relationship dynamics that they've been experiencing with their lover, or someone wants to change careers or make more money in their profession. It's often a misperceived cause and effect relationship that the client is trying to control. In our minds, we think that everything would just be okay if we could experience XYZ, whatever that is, and then we feel fulfilled, peaceful, confident, etc. So I call the first step putting out the immediate fires. Make more money, stop fighting with a significant other, get a better job, lose weight, and other such pressing challenges. And these are all what people are hoping for. And it will happen, but it does require the willingness to change. And there's a full spectrum of possibilities for you out there. The way that I perceive the desire for situational change is like a subtle signal that an individual is open to personal growth and self-understanding. And in order for the situational change to occur, a person's paradigm, that is their map of their world, it must shift to embrace the new possibility of change within a specific context. So on one level, we typically begin to address a specific area of your life, but from experience, inevitably while working with a person, elements in other areas of their life will begin to come up. People almost always say that, my God, I forgot that happened, or I didn't even think about that, or I never knew it would have such an impact on my life, or I never knew I was angry at my parents, my siblings, my ex, etc., whatever else it was. And when these things come up, it creates an emotional movement as your paradigm begins to shift, and it exposes the experiences that have formed those beliefs that you've been operating with. And the second step is to clear the limiting beliefs, reframe them, take away its power from your life, and help you to move forward. And a great example that comes to mind is that of Pavlovian conditioning. Now, you've probably heard about Pavlov's research in conditioned response. He'd ring the bell, and over time the dogs associated the ringing bell with being fed, and the dogs would salivate when they heard the bell. In a similar way, there have likely been many things that have happened in your life that are part of a conditioned response, except for it's not benefiting you. And if this is the case, when we uncover these things, we'll slow the process down, catch the synesthesia, that is, the way that you unconsciously know how to respond, and change that synesthesia to a response in a way that will make a big difference for you. And this might take several sessions or maybe even years. And while we're kind of working on these challenges to come up, you'll begin to notice a great difference in the way that you respond to your environment. And when I say years, I think that's being very optimistic, very future oriented, because there's always going to be new things that happen in life and new things to work through. But then there'll be that day that decidedly will show me that you've changed, because you'll go from the process of how do I solve these problems, how do I put out these fires, or how do I change my reactions, to how do I go and how do I achieve what it is that I want. And it's this transition that occurs because your focus will begin to shift from problems and limiting beliefs to getting more of what you want and having incredible clarity as to why you want it. And it's not necessarily a linear process. We're constantly changing, and the beliefs that are good for us today, they may not serve us tomorrow. It's a journey, and like life, we're faced with uncertainty in every moment. But what I can offer you is a way to understand yourself on a deeper level, so that when you experience uncertainty, and I'm certain you will, you'll have powerful resources and the flexibility to act with integrity and be aligned in your values in the moment. So, if you find yourself interested in working with me as a personal development coach, visit my website at www.michaeljemery.com and contact me. I work with individuals all over the world via telephone, and if you're in Portland, Oregon, we can schedule an in-person coaching session at my office. Hope to hear from you. Be amazing.